Hello everyone! We're on to the final video of Turtles Month, and it's obviously ranking the Ninja Turtles designs. Which turtles had the best designs? Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to be doing video game designs and stuff like that. These are strictly cartoon and movie designs. And no, Batman versus the Ninja Turtle designs will not be on here, because I just really didn't care for that film. And yeah, throw tomato, whatever at me. But yeah, I'm going to rank the Turtles' designs, their looks, everything. Which version of the Turtles actually look the best? Well, this one might not be a big mystery on that. But anyhow, let's stop talking and let's get to it. Worst to best turtle designs. Let's go.
The people of New York will look upon you as their only hope.
Well, the worst, little to nobody's surprise, is the fucking Bay Turtles. These are by far the ugliest designs I have ever seen in my life. Oh, Lord. And yeah, they do get worse. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to put sequels to the movies on here. Like, I do know the Turtles 3 costumes look bad, but compared to the 2014 film, the costumes look like a fucking heaven godsend. I mean, good God. These are some of the worst designs I have ever seen. What was the appeal of making the Turtles so fugly? I just don't understand this. Was Michael Bay just shooting himself up with coke and drinking on the job or something? I don't know what the fuck was going on here. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure without a shred of a doubt, people will definitely all agree that these are the ugliest versions of the Turtles ever made. How do you go from the live action versions? I mean, even the Turtles and the blue, what do you call it, where they're trying to take a transport system in New York City or LA or whatever, the blue line or whatever, look better than this. These are hideous. All the other turtle costumes were technically in that blue line thing were just sized up Ninja Turtle dolls or action figures, and they looked even better than this. This just looks terrible. They are fucking hideous. I mean, they are the ugliest things I have ever seen in my whole life. And yeah, I could go on a big rant about how ugly it is, but I think the internet has already done that for me. To this day, almost every YouTube video I watch, and it goes from AVGN's review of the movie to the crossover between AVGN and the Nostalgia Critic of them saying how ugly they are. Hell, even Phaelus, one of the best Ninja Turtle reviewers on YouTube, even says that these are the ugliest designs. So, basically, I'm just kicking a dead horse by saying how ugly these fucking things are. Like I said, I won't do any spin-offs or sequels like Turtles 3 because, well, the costumes are getting wear and tear. But this, yeah, I'm definitely counting these. These are just trash. They are hideous, grotesque, and you feel dirty just looking at them. Let's go to the next ones, shall we? Believe it or not, next Mutation design, the costumes really aren't that terrible. I mean, they definitely look very similar to the Out of the Shell costumes or whatever coming out of their shell. But yeah, they are kind of dumb looking. I don't understand the whole thing of Raph looking like a fucking weightlifter or whatever. I get that the Turtles are supposed to vary in size, making one bigger than the other. Especially back in the 90s they did this. So that, you know, if you were watching on a black and white TV, yes, those existed, people. You would know which turtle's which, you know, besides being able to tell by their color palettes. But yeah, these aren't as bad as the 2014 versions. These are just meh. There's nothing really special about them. The coming out of their shells tour almost looks a little better than this, but I don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, the next Mutation is just one of the most ridiculous designs for the Turtles that I've ever seen, but honestly, they're not insultingly ugly or hideous like the 2014 versions. I mean, it's not going to get any worse than that here. It's just going to be a straight battle uphill, like I said. So, shall we continue maneuvering? Okay, I know I've complimented on the animation of Rise of TMNT, but they're not that bad. I mean, yeah, they look a little too overly done, but honestly, from this point on, it's basically just minor complaints I have. I do like the fluid animation style they chose to use for these turtles, and talking about sizing the turtles up to make them all look different really went into good detail. And the voices, even though I have went in the past couple years and complained about them, they still kind of are pretty decent voice choices. I honestly don't see anything wrong with their voices other than they sound a little off base just a little bit, or can sound a little dumb at one point. But I will say, like, the other versions of, like, April O'Neil and Splinter are really well done and fun. Hell, even Casey Jones was great. But other than that, there's nothing really too memorable with these turtle designs. I have seen worse, like I said, but I kind of just see these as trying to make them express outwardly and look really more expressive for people. I think the issue with these turtles, this version anyway, is people really can't take their eyes off. I mean, this is a newer generation that they made these turtles for, so they constantly have to keep the turtles moving and the colors going constantly, because kids or teens or whatever are going to be taking their attention off and looking at their phones. That's the thing with new generation stuff. They constantly think they have to keep maneuvering and they focus less on the story anymore, which isn't always a bad thing. It's not terrible, but yeah, there have been worse designs than this, and with the new generational gap going on, kids do not really look at the TV or basically anything else as much anymore, because they're always either looking at their phone or their tablets or whatever, and they don't really pay attention. So these turtles constantly have to be going and moving and being over the top. Yeah, they can be a little bit of annoying, but the voices, like I said, for the most part, aren't that bad. So let's go to the next one.
Yeah, she sounded like a leader.
I do? Oh, I do! Oh, I sound like such a leader!
And you ruined it.
Ninja Turtle.
Well, I'm sure some people are a little insulted with this one. Talk about bad turtle voices, but really cool out there designs, and Mutant Mayhem does have nice designs. The one thing I will say nicely about Seth Rogen is he did give them kind of cool looking designs, but the voices do not match. Oh, good lord. Donatello's is the worst done, and everyone knows that Donatello is my favorite fucking turtle, and when you butcher Donatello, that's an insult to me. But the turtles' designs aren't grotesque looking. In fact, they are a big callback to the 87 cartoon. That I really do like. They are a definite callback to this, but their voices to me just do not match up well at all. I am not a big fan of this art style or the voice style. I meant to say voice style. I think that we could have gotten a little bit better actors. I think the turtles, since they're supposed to be teenage, are supposed to sound older, not like little kids that just, you know, were watching Bluey or whatever. I have my complaints about Mutant Mayhem in general, and now I can address it. The turtle designs actually look pretty cool. I don't even have a problem with April's redesign, but it does suffer from a very similar problem of Rise of TMNT. The problem with this series, or movie, I guess, is the fact that they constantly focus on that fluid animation and over-the-top animation, and they do not focus on story very well, and they put in some really shitty jokes. That's my biggest issue with this series, but the turtle designs actually get an okay thumb from me. They're not terrible, they're not hideous, they're just kind of coolish, I guess. So, really, I don't have really any huge complaints other than they don't focus much on the story as well. So let's move on. Now, talking about paying homage to the original Turtles, the 07 Turtles designs are kind of neat, but they do pay a little too much homage to, say, the 87 Turtles. Now, I know technically this is their 20th anniversary, and that's what they were doing. I really like the 07 film a lot. I will gladly say it was a decent film, and the fact that they didn't focus on the Shredder was pretty cool. I like somebody else being the main villain, and the main villain being kind of Patrick Stewart. I don't want to spoil it if nobody has seen it, and the voices are all really well done here. Now, this is paying homage to the 87 cartoon, yet doing its own thing in the same process. I think my favorite design probably has to go to Leonardo's design here because, you know, he looks the most like a mixture of the movie counterpart from the 90s and the 87, and that's pretty much what they did. They blended like two or three different styles together. They basically blended the 87 cartoon, the 90s movie, and the 03 series together, and honestly, I don't have a single problem with that. The 07 movie doesn't have any big glaring issues, though I will say some of the villains are kind of boring. The main villain is really well done by Patrick Stewart, and I do like the voice choices here. Like I said, Casey and April are great, but as for their designs, well, I know what they were trying to do and the little Easter eggs that they were trying to get in there, but I really don't have too big of a complaint. The designs do stand out, but think if you're watching on a black and white TV, which, you know, we had those, us dinosaurs had those back in the day, it wouldn't be able or easier to pick them out. So, yeah, they were really not focusing on that, but still, it's a solid design, and I think it's a pretty good design. This is going from the good tier to the great tier, so let's move on. The 2012 designs are freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the 2012 designs. They have each turtle portraying in a different way. They are shaped differently. They stand out. It's more than just color palettes, which I put them below something, so I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack, and they're gonna say, well, wait a minute. But yeah, this is how I feel. The designs are kind of cool. And I do like the way that the human characters look too. And the voice choices for the turtles are actually pretty damn awesome. Sean Astin is my favorite Raphael, as everybody knows. I have not changed that. He captures Raphael as a happy balance of Joker and angry, aggressive type character. And I do like Jason Biggs and Seth Green's version of Leonardo still. In fact, all these voices are really good. Even Rob Paulson, Greg Sipes, they all match really good. And one of my favorite April O'Neils is even in this show. So I really don't have any issues with the designs. Though I will say the feet are kind of silly looking, but it is a Nickelodeon's kids show that came out in 2012, so maybe the budget doesn't have everything it needs in it, but man, this version of the Turtles was a complete love letter to almost every other version before that. The movies, the cartoon, the 03 series even has a few little Easter eggs in it and names. I love all that. The characters are great. Even Splinter's kind of silly design kind of fits for the comedy tones that they are ranking into the series. I like that a lot. In fact, I would almost say this is a great designs for the Turtles. Like I said, I don't like their feet too well or the shoulder pads that they wear, and I get why they did it to make them stand out more, but I do have some minor issues with it. Other than that, this is great designs and great voices on top of all that. The 2012 series is a love letter to old Turtle fans and also new Turtle fans to get them to watch the old. In fact, one of their best episodes involves the 87 characters, which I really like, and we get that kind of neat style. And they even change up their animation style. Instead of the CG 3D stuff, they even go into the 87 Turtles world, which I like that a lot. The voices all fit, and yeah, it's excellent. So I really don't have a whole lot more to say. It's just awesome. Let's maneuver. And I know I complained, but the 87 cartoon turtles are kind of cool. I love their designs, and I know that there are no standing out features that distinguish the turtles other than the palette color swaps, but I can't help it. I love the designs of these turtles. And let's not forget, I'm an OG Turtles fan. Yes, I basically kept saying, well, they're just palette color swaps, but I don't know. These are the turtle designs that are used the most. Think about it. Every time that you see little kids' clothes or whatever, even nowadays, if you're a new parent and you see a bib or a baby blanket or whatever, it's always with these turtles. And what can I say? The designs of these turtles are very simple, but very awesome. And they do kind of stand out the best to me. Now, some people have made fun of their designs, like saying, well, they look chunky or chubby. In fact, the 03 Turtles Forever crossover did do that. But personally, I love the designs. I like that you can distinguish who they are with their initials written on their belt. Luckily, if you are watching the TV in a black and white version, it definitely shows. And they basically do kind of change up the designs later on in the 87, well, I guess the Red Sky seasons, they kind of changed their designs, kind of giving a more look tone to the original 90s film. But when it comes to the designs, yeah, they're very simple, but sometimes simple is pretty much better in my opinion. I love their designs, and the characters' voices, even though they do sound slightly older than teenagers, all really fit. In fact, Rob Paulsen is so good at playing Raphael that they came back and had him play Donatello in 2012. So what does that tell you? Cam Clark, obviously, is one of my favorite Leonardos. I've even had Townsend Coleman for an interview on my channel a few years back. So to me, these voices, and including Barry Gordon, you know, the Nesquik rabbit, is all fantastic. The voices fit in a very 80s campy sort of way. The designs all fit too, especially for that 80s campy way, and even in the Red Sky seasons later on. I personally even like their mutated forms that happen in the later versions of the story in the Red Sky seasons. I don't know, there's something about these turtle designs. To me, they're simple, but I always say less is more. It's more than just the shape of their heads and stuff, and they do look the most simple. I mean, it's basically just one turtle design with different headband colors and initials on their belt, but there is just something really good in that simplicity, and I like it a lot. The voices fit, and the comedy to the show is great. I think personally the best Shredder look design is here. I know I said I like the performance of the 90s Shredder last year when I made the video, but I liked Shredder's look here. The over-the-top cape and the helmet and all the metal is just funny as hell. It's a funny as hell show. It makes me laugh. Part of the reason I watch it now, that a lot of the unfunny humor is so unfunny that it is funny. I mean, the puns that they use. It's like the Crypt Creeper from Tales from the Crypt took over the turtle jokes and just started making puns. Now, the very first season, the animation looked fan-freaking-tastic, but the later on section, the middle, or basically after season 1, that's when the animation errors started to get in, and it's just campy. It's tragic, campy fun. But they're only my third favorite design, so you know the other two, I think a lot of people are going to agree with me.
Ninja Turtles. Turtles counted on 1, 2, 3, 4. Turtles.
Next is the 2003 Turtles. What can I say? They took kind of a big leverage on the movie designs and the 87 designs, and they did their own thing. They interweave them, sort of. That's how I find this. And I find the 03 show so freaking underrated. It is criminally underrated anymore. I know that series nowadays do pay Easter eggs and homages to it, but there is just something incredible about these turtle designs. In fact, I put my favorite April and my favorite Casey from this show. It is that good, and the voice acting for the turtles all look great. And I do like that there are various size differences with the turtles. Raphael being slightly more buff, like his movie counterpart from 1990. Michelangelo being a little slim and more of a goofball. And their characters, you know, it's not all palette swaps. That's what I like. The 03 series, design and animation wise, definitely overpowers the original 87 cartoon. Now, I will say I prefer the entire series of the 87 cartoon more than the 03 series, but when it comes to animation and basically story, for nostalgia purposes, I'm going to say that the 03 series is much better. The voices all fit. Wayne Grayson might be one of my favorite Michelangelos ever. I don't know why. He can make him annoying at times and over the top. I also really like Michael Sinterklaas's Leonardo a lot. He kind of echoes from the movie a little bit, but still, Sam Riegel is also fan-freaking-tastic as Donatello. He's easily in my top 3 favorite Donatellos of all time. They actually all sound like teenagers, too. The voices fit. They all sound like teens, or basically the age range that they were going for, or teens trying to sound like adults, which does happen a lot of times in these movies, and I think they capture about everything perfectly, design-wise, animation-wise. They don't go way too over the top like some of the newer Turtles do with their animation, and I find it unbelievably criminal that they are so underrated. I remember when the 03 series came out, it was big for a while. I mean, I was part of that age group that saw kids, which, you know, me being an 87 fanboy, I didn't really get into the new Turtles until I was in my 20s. So, yeah, because I didn't want to think that anyone could replace my 87 Turtles. But when it comes to the designs, these guys kick ass. And they were all over the place. But right after Turtles Forever aired and the series ended, they kind of faded into obscurity. I kind of hate the fact that they are now this. It's just, well, it was just a trying Turtle series when it was so much more than that. We got a great Shredder, great Splinter. We got a fantastic cast of the main Turtles. My favorite, Casey Jones. Mark Thompson does a hell of a good job. I love April from this series. There is just so much good that I can't believe that it's so underrated now. Like, a lot of Turtle fans forget about it. And I'm talking about the casual fans, not fanboys like me who pretty much watch everything Turtles related that comes out. But I'm talking fanboys. The average fan is just like, oh yeah, I forgot the 03 series was huge when it hit in the US, especially when 4Kids was basically dubbing it, and it gave us something more badass than the anime they were censoring. They even kind of follow the comic books. I love that a lot. These turtle designs are badass, and that's all I can say. But they're not the best designs, and here we are to the final slot of the entire list here that probably surprises no one, but let's go to it anyway.
Awesome! Righteous! Bossa Nova!
Okay, who wants to say, I knew that you were going to pick the 1990 film as the best designs? Okay, this is the weird thing. I know that after this first movie, the costume in the second and third films progressively got worse, but damn, they set the standards. The Jim Henson's puppetry work, everything, the people in the costume, the stunts, the voices fit. everything is almost damn near perfect on this list. Oh my god, the 90 turtles, they all look uniquely different. They made their heights different. They made a great balance. It's not all just color palette swaps like I complained about in the earlier sections of the video. There's so much more to it. I love nearly everything about this film. I obsess over this film. I mean, come on. I got my Blu-ray signed by Corey Feldman, the voice of my favorite turtle, Donatello. I have framed posters. I've had Robbie Rist on the channel, and you guys already know I had Corey Feldman closing out the video that he recorded just for TMNT Month to do that, to tell you guys to subscribe, because that's how big a fan and obsession I have of this film. I want to interview Steve Barron. The direction that this film went in is just incredible. I love everything about this movie. The turtle designs are definitely the cream of the crop, though. You can see that each one of them has something uniquely different. And say if you were, like me when I was a kid and had a black and white TV, you could tell which turtle was which. They didn't initial their belts or anything silly to tell the difference, but they put differences in their designs. Their facial features are a little different. Everything about these turtles are excellent. The voices all fit perfectly. Now, I do know in the second film that Donatello's voice was changed, as was Raph was twice. But of course, Feldman comes back for the third film, and we're not going to talk about the third or second film. So this movie set the standard. And why do I think they're the best? There has never been a better turtle design. This one just set everything perfectly in motion for turtle films. And why I never get mad with ugly turtle designs and I give all their movies a chance and everything, is because we already got the perfect turtle designs from here. There is nothing that outranks these features or anything like that. That takes effort. There was serious love and effort put in. Splinter's design is even amazing. These do not feel like costumes and puppets. They feel like they're really there. I know in the 2014 film it was motion capture and ugly CG. Nothing about these turtles look ugly. They look like real characters, real turtles. That creates a very powerful environment. The environment in the New York City setting is probably one of my favorites. I mean, holy shit, I could never get enough of that. I could watch this movie on a loop, probably along with my favorite film of all time, Back to the Future. This movie's designs, the characters, the voices all fit. I mean, Robbie Rist, everybody already knows, is my favorite Michelangelo. And obviously, Corey Feldman is my favorite voice for Donatello. And definitely the other two, Josh Pace and Brian Tochi, all do fantastic. I mean, everything is just so good. The Turtles' chemistries are great. The Turtles' designs look awesome. The New York setting is incredible. Even the Shredder got a badass design. And the actors in the suits all were fucking fantastic. I could go on and on for hours. I could probably talk about this movie and break it down on a loop for hours. But you guys got more to do than just listen to me ramble on about how amazing these turtle designs are. We got the perfect turtle designs, excellent fighting. In fact, I believe that Pat Johnson worked on the choreographs for the fighting, who a lot of people may know from the Karate Kid franchises. So if they seem so familiar to you, that's why their fighting moves look so familiar. A lot of their fighting style was derived from the Karate Kid films. And honestly, I don't think that there are ever going to be any other turtle movie that can top these designs. No turtle series or any other movie has topped the 1990 film's designs. They are perfectly well done. And they are worthy as being ranked the best on this list. So, that about does it. I'm sorry I over-rambled and dick-rode, but it's one of my favorite turtle settings for an entire reason. I love it, it's perfection, and that about wraps it up. Yeah, you guys probably already knew the 1990 Turtles designs were going to be my favorites. I'm sorry if I, was very obvious. that's just how I am. I mean, look at the fucking shirt I'm wearing. If that doesn't give you the answers you want, nothing will. But yeah, this one was probably the easiest on my list to do. It was just a given. I mean, the movie designs look badass. And no other series have replicated really good turtle designs like the Jim Henson version puppets and animatronics that they had. So, sorry to disappoint everybody on that one, but I think even the most casual turtle fan will say, those suits look fucking awesome. Now, I didn't rank in the Turtles 3 designs and etc. because, well, I really didn't want to kind of bash it because the puppets were kind of wearing out. But out of the main designs, out of all the turtles, yeah, these guys are the best. And it's just really obvious. The voices match, the looks are really great, and the effects are amazing for just people in costumes. They look real. So it was an obvious pick for me. Anyhow, I finally wrapped up Turtle Month this year. It's over. It was a lot for me to record, scrutinize, and go through the list, but I honestly enjoyed it. And I don't know if this is going to be my last time for Turtles Month, or if it's going to be if we're going to do another one next year, but we may or may not. Things have been going on. I do have other videos that I'm working on currently, obviously. So we'll just see what happens when May and June come around, if I feel like doing it again. But the third year in a row, or, well, the second year in a row, I guess. I mean, it's pretty good. I've got 3 sections of chapters for TMNT Month, and honestly, I'm just glad to bring a smile to people who love TMNT as much as I do. But anyhow, I'm working on some other videos. I do have another top 10 list coming out very soon. And it's about one of my favorite adult cartoon shows. That's all I'm going to hint for. So, and another hint is Mark Thompson's in it. So we kind of go full circle here. Anyhow, that does it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment on what other videos you want me to do next. And give me some more ideas for Turtles Month, you know, so I can keep it going. I don't run out of speed or stamina or whatever. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. You guys were great. And Bossa fucking Nova.
Hello, this is Corey Feldman. Welcome to my studio here in Los Angeles, California. And I just wanted to pop in to say congratulations to Tim. Mr. Tim, I hope everybody's enjoying your videos. He's got some great content, and if you're enjoying his content, make sure you click on that little button right there that says subscribe. Why? Because everything on his channel is Bossa Nova. That's right. Congratulations on your channel, Mr. Tim. I'll be following you, and I know everybody else will too.
Pizza power!